Hello, hello, how's it going? Hello, hello, okay, how's it going? Is it going alright? Am I hearable? I guess so. Is this too. Is there too much noise? Maybe I should hold it. How's it going? Yo. How has your week been? Here it's Sunday. It was raining today this morning. Now it's kind of sunny, and yeah, I almost forgot to stream. I was like, I have. What do I have to do? ChatGPT. I was talking to ChatGPT about some things. I was, yeah, I guess planning, or not sure if planning, but sorting some things from this week that I have to do. And yeah, I guess I forgot almost to stream. I was going to go for a walk, for a longer walk, and then I remembered, oh, actually I wanted to stream because yesterday I wanted to stream today. Since today it was going to be raining all day, I was like, okay, I guess I'll stay at home. But then it got sunny suddenly, so I was like, and forgot. But yeah, I went for a quick walk, like 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes maybe. 3,000 steps basically. And yeah, also I have to wake up tomorrow at 6, so nothing much. I might have to visit Regensburg next week for work, but I don't know yet. That's also the place where your parents are from, but they don't live there right now, right? But do you have family there? Or is it just for work and you don't have a lot of time to go actually visit people like there? Also, I have to wake up tomorrow at 6. Same. So I guess I go to bed as well at very early, at like 10 or so. I'm trying to go to bed at the correct hour because I've been going back to the gym. I've taken back the habit, so yeah, I'm trying to. It's very important because when you go to the gym, the most important thing almost, besides food, is like sleep. So yeah, I'm like sleep, and I'm sleeping like trying to sleep 8 hours every day and such. Today I slept from 3 to 11:30 or 12:30, 11:30, so it was like 9 hours, I think. No, not 9, 8:30 hours or so. Or was it 12:20? I don't know. I forgot. But yeah. And the next week for me, I don't know what I have next week. I think it's just a normal week also. Normal week of class. I'm looking at the calendar, but it's so far away. But yeah, I feel like it's all 5 days, 5 normal colored days. So I think my next week is going to be like pretty standard, like the previous week. Not this one, like the previous one, where my dad's parents lived, but they don't live anymore. They don't live anymore. I also probably wouldn't have visited even if I had the time and they were around, since I never had much to do with them in the first place. Yeah, actually, when I went to Spain, for example, I didn't visit anyone. I didn't visit my grandparents. I didn't visit my aunt. I have like 7 aunts, but one of them. So yeah, maybe in Christmas I will do that, more of that, but we'll see. And yeah, I kind of tried to clear my air during the walk, but it didn't really work because I was also talking with ChatGPT in voice, kind of doing these things, so it didn't really work to clear in my head. So I'm kind of like saturated. before I was playing video games a little bit. I was playing this game called Art of Rally. Maybe I can share the screen. Yeah, this one, Art of Rally. It's decent. It's like a chill game. I guess I remembered it. It looks really good, but I don't know. The controls aren't that satisfying. I don't know. I don't find them super satisfying. Maybe because I haven't learned really to play them, to play it. But yeah, I don't know. I was playing a little bit of that. I tried to play BeamNG, for example. I feel like BeamNG feels more solid, and because of the crashes and all this, but my computer can't run BeamNG, I don't know, at a fluid pace that I like. I was playing a little bit before, and it's running at like playable speed, playable frame rate, like mm, 18 frames or so. More, I guess not. I guess it was running at 30 frames, but it drops a little bit when the cars are moving or when there are a lot of cars, and it's running at 720p, and then it kind of runs better. But then I leveled up the settings from very low to low, and it started running again at like sub 30, and I don't know, it's not really great. And I have like this 4K TV, and I have to run the game at 720p, so I don't know, it's kind of, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. For example, this game runs out of the box, I guess, with the recommended settings, low resolution as well. It's not even 1080, it's like 1660 by 1050 or something, but it looks good on the screen, and it flows well, and yeah, it has more than it has some progress and such. There is like a career mode, and you have to unlock things, but I don't know, I guess driving it doesn't feel super great. I guess the little details are really good. For example, you saw here here, yeah, if you see this car, the Porsche, yeah, or for example that one as well, yeah, see, the brakes, when you brake, the brakes glow because of the heat, right? So it has like a lot of details and a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of that, and for that it's fun to play. It's fun to like explore and to see the Easter eggs and such. The gameplay itself is just like rally racing, so it's like racing rally stages, and you can adjust the difficulty of the other drivers. You don't see them, obviously, you just see the time that they made. And on the normal difficulty, it's like pretty easy. So it's mostly like just kind of, I guess, pushing yourself a little bit, trying to drive the trucks a little bit fast, but also, I don't know, it's not, for me, I don't find it super satisfying the way the cars drive. At least not instantly. Maybe it's an earned thing. You have to earn a little bit, and then you can actually like push the cars a little bit. But for me, it's definitely boring. If you're into it, then it sounds fine. Yeah, it's a good game. Like, I wouldn't say anything bad about it. Like, well, it's subjective, right? How the way the cars feel and such is subjective. So the aesthetics are really great. That I will say that. So it's good to play it on the TV, like really big, laying down on the couch, well, on the bed. I feel like, for example, this game Absolute Drift, it's also from there, the same developer. I think I owned this game in the Epic Store because it was free, and I feel like this game, for example, could be more satisfying to play. So maybe I will install it on Epic. But yeah, aside from that, I don't know why I started talking about the game. I guess that's what I was doing today earlier. I don't really have a lot to say about games. Today's topic of the video, I'm not sure if you saw the title, is like status update. I wanted to record another status update. First, I'm going to do a quick week update because actually this week was interesting. It had like a lot of different things going on. I think last Sunday, I think I streamed on Sunday, right? Last Sunday, I said, yeah, next week looks like it's going to be like a little bit more interesting. And I'm going to close the window. And it was more interesting. Like this week, there was more to do. Well, not more to do, but the things that I did were more interesting, I guess. For example, Monday I forgot. I'm not sure. Let's check. Let's do the classic. The classic Google Photos thing. Am I still sharing? Hope not. Yep. This is on OnlyFans. I was doing research.
So on today's episode of What You Won't Find in an Italian Restaurant, Spiro and I were going to be making moussaka. Spiro.
This is, by the way, actual research because it's my main browser. I don't do like masturbation on my normal browser. I use another browser for that. So this one was actually research. I was trying to see like what does this. It's like some weird account that does like it's not the account from a performer, you know what I mean? It's the account of a production company, kind of, but it's kind of a small indie or something production company. So I wanted to see like, okay, what is this about actually? Like, how are they making money on OnlyFans? I don't know, but yeah. But I will say that it is pretty funny that the first thing that pops up is this. Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night. I mean, when I said research, it's not like actual scientific research, you know? It was just like, wonder what this is, right? Wonder what they do in here. The fuck? I guess I didn't take any pictures today. Okay. Monday. Beep, beep. I mean, if I was actually like to that, I probably wouldn't have said it, but I would have probably said some excuse actually. But I'm looking at what happened on Monday because I don't know. Just normal class, exercises, I think, finishing some exercises. This one was for at home, I think. What hour was this made for? Monday, 2:52, yep. Yep, from what I can see, Monday we went we ended the class at like still 3 p.m. or so. and then I went home and didn't take any pictures at home or anything. So I think I just classic day. I'm not sure if I went outside to buy anything or whatever. Doesn't seem like it. Then I guess there did happen some things that I didn't take pictures of though. Then on Tuesday, first day that where something interesting happened. Well, I was looking for 18 plus comps play on Patreon, so I probably should just check if OF does have someone I'd be interested in. But so far I didn't want to check outside of Patreon. But I was also told to check on Twitter, but I don't want to create an account just because they suck and you can see posts without account. I mean, in Twitter there is a lot of that, but I guess Twitter is usually used as like a pipeline for something, right? So if Patreon is there, Twitter is used to be like the pipeline for Patreon. So it's like there is not a lot more on Twitter that there would be on Patreon. OnlyFans, it is a bit more, and then the thing is that the business happens within the OnlyFans platform itself, but in the DMs, right? Not in the feed of OnlyFans. That's like where the majority of the business is. So it's like that's the awful thing as a consumer to do on OnlyFans. You sign up, and then you have to go into the DMs and pay extra for things, right? So that's annoying. I guess, like, as I see it, I can also see what it makes sense because you kind of like you talk and it seems more personal, and like you can do requests or things like this, right? So I guess I see that as well, but I don't know. I mean, I've never paid for OnlyFans. Okay, let this be clear. I have paid for Patreon things. I will say that, like NSFW, not NSW as well, but NSFW as well. But it was not like video or photos or such. It was like a game. I did pay for that, and it was hosted on Patreon. So OnlyFans and such, I just pirate it. You know, like there are sites where people dump things and such, and I use that to see what's going on there, right? That's how I know like what the feeds have, and the DMs. I think people don't leak that. Sometimes people do that as well. I don't know, but I just look at OnlyFans leaks and such. I never sign up for it or whatever. I feel like it's kind of shady. I don't want to get into that. Don't want to like self-victimize or whatever, but I don't know. I don't feel like getting into that dynamic would be good. So yeah, Tuesday. Okay, Monday, normal day of class as far as I can tell. It was kind of a little bit hotter, I guess, because I was wearing something. Well, it was kind of cold and then hot. I don't know, but it didn't rain. That's it. It was not a rain outfit, or if it, I think it did rain. Maybe I don't know. Anyways, Monday normal kind of day. Tuesday started with a couple of things normal, a couple of hours normal of class, but then we went to see the new S-Bahn. The S-Bahn, they're bringing new trains in 2028, and they showed them, like they show a model of it at this IAA, which is an auto exhibition, and yeah, that day we saw them. Like we went with the class, all of us there to see the new S-Bahn. It was interesting. We got like a couple of tours of it. We went inside, such, and it was cool. Then, because it was the IAA and these guys had like German class, and they had to go back. I didn't, because I didn't sign up for their German class. Not because my German is like insanely good, but because it's better, a little bit better than them. I just didn't want to join in the first place that course. I think I told the story here sometime. Yeah, that was when I I still have it written there. Hanio, Dienstag, Donnerstag, like 17 Uhr and 18:30 Uhr or something. I have that. I think it was like regarding this course. So yeah, I didn't sign up for that course. And yeah, basically, what I did was test drive a Porsche, which was nice. A Porsche Taycan. It's like the electric car. Taycan Sport Turismo. I'm going to show it, I guess. Taycan 4S Sport Turismo. The OnlyFans links are still open. I could close them, like I've already kind of seen the thing, so yeah. This is like the ManyVids, and this ManyVids platform was like, I think the main income source, right? ManyVids is a place where you can sell videos. It came before OnlyFans, if I could recall. And yeah, I test drove one of these, which was pretty fire, to be honest. The guy who was with me on the car was fire, but the test drive was like not kind of lame, but it was kind of like, I don't know. It was too short, and Munich has Autobahn, like unbegrenzt Autobahn, but it starts obviously not at the city center, and this exposition and such, IAA, was like this place where the S-Bahn was, and the Porsche thing was kind of at the city center, Odeonsplatz almost, Porsche. And yeah, it's basically in the middle of the city, and the test drives are 1 hour, so it's like 30 minutes to go outside the city, 2 minutes in the Autobahn, and then you have to go back. And it was also kind of rush hour, so there were a lot of cars. It was all basically sitting in traffic for like 1 hour in a Porsche. So not ideal, but interesting because it is a Porsche after all. And I did drive it very slowly and at normal speeds, and I did get to like accelerate once, but yeah, I guess that's why I didn't test drive more things this week, because I wasn't like that. I guess the test drive experience didn't inspire me to be like, okay, sure, I do want to test drive more things. I feel like I got to learn more about this Porsche in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise. Like, because of the Porsche, it was special, I guess. But for other cars, it's like, I'm not sure if I would just sit in a car for 1 hour if I'm not thinking of buying the car, and if I'm not able to like discern anything really special about the car, right? If I'm just sitting there in the car driving it for an hour without learning a lot of it, like without physically learning about it, I mean, right? Without going into every menu, every setting, or like getting a feel of the car in like different circumstances. I don't know. Maybe you could have asked for an extension like 130 or something. Maybe, but they are like pretty, especially in these events, they are like very, they have one at this hour, then they have one at the next hour, right? So they have to like keep them going and such. I was also like, I could have asked for more things, for example, and I could have been a little bit more proactive. If you are more proactive, I don't know the expression in English. In Spain, we say tener cara. So basically, if you kind of act like you are owed things, you know, like if you kind of act like this a little bit, you get away with more things, right? If you push the car and wait until you have to ask for forgiveness instead of asking for permission, you get away with more things in these kind of test drives and such. So yeah, for example, there are probably windows of time where I could have like actually hit the thing and gone faster, and the guy could have said like, whoa, but I would have gotten away with it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know, not bad. Same thing happened. Remember that stream after I test drove a car that I signed up for this test drive and such, but a similar thing happened essentially, right? I was stuck behind a car and I wasn't able to like overtake or anything, and I wasn't feeling like confident about it. Same thing happened here, right? It's like I wasn't feeling too confident about it, so at the end of the day I didn't like get to get a feel for this. If you act like they have to let you drive for longer, I think they just rather kick you out immediately. Not really, right? Imagine if I'm like, if they are like when the guy told me to miss the seat to okay, here in this place you can go right, you have to go right. Then if I act like crazy, if not like crazy, if I like oops, I didn't hear it, or like could I go a little bit there, I think maybe it clears a little bit, right? Then yeah, that thing, right? If you just do longer and then be like lol, my bad, they'd find you. I think, oh okay, that could actually be true. I actually hit a curb with the car, and the guy looked at the wheels and was like, oh, did you damage anything? And apparently I didn't damage anything, but he was like looking at the wheels like 5 or 6 times after it, right? After the test drive, he was like looking, and after a couple of looks, I was like, okay, guy, you didn't find anything, stop checking so hard, right? But yeah, I got away with that with a little bit of curb. This car had these wheels, I think, which are 21 inches, and they are the bigger ones, I think, and they didn't get damaged, so that's like a pro for Porsche, I guess. Your wheels don't get that damaged that quickly. That's good. The car looks really good, I will say. Then at the test drive, at the end of it, I was like behind some other guy with a test drive, so I was seeing it from the back, and it was like a pretty decent view, I will say. It's a car that looks good. For good reason, lol, if you didn't damage it and he didn't check, he'd have to pay for the damage himself, I think. I don't think so. But yeah, like he is probably responsible for finding who did it or something, right? But yeah, I was talking to him during the test drive because it was a lot of time sitting in like Stau. So I was like, okay, so what do you do? Blah blah blah, right? That kind of questions. What do you drive? And yeah, he drove interesting cars. He was from Stuttgart, blah blah blah. This was his Nebenjob, and he was like, actually, he said it was a mini job. I asked him, oh, so like a mini job, and he said, yeah, actually, yeah. And that's interesting. He was like a pharma type, like a pharma salesman, something like that. And then he did this on the side, which was interesting, like these kind of events for Porsche. And I gotta say that it sounds cool. Maybe I will sign up for some kind of thing like this. He said something like, you can only have one of these Nebenjobs or like mini jobs. And you get the money tax free or whatever, right? I knew that. But yeah, I didn't know like that these kind of specific events things were like that. And it's like something, I'm not sure if I would like to do that, because the job is what you get paid to talk to some guy who is sitting. You get to pay this guy, you get paid, but the task that you do is like to yap to this kind of guy who is driving a car, and you have to like kind of be stressed because he hit a curb or because he blah blah blah, right? These are kind of the problems that we deal with, and I'm not sure if it will be worth it for me. But for example, sitting at the Porsche event, you are there and you give t-shirts to people or something, or like you give posters, and then you because you are Porsche personal or whatever, you get a couple of like, you get a hat, and maybe you get to book a test drive yourself in the platform before anyone else does it, right? things like this, right? I feel like there is room for glitches like this, and yeah, I don't know, that could be interesting. But yeah, essentially I test drove the Porsche. It was a fun experience, not super enlightening, but I guess fun enough and different enough. Like, I guess different from the week. My conclusions from that is kind of more like, so maybe I will test drive more things, but I feel like I want to find test drives that are, I don't know, like where I get the, so either rent cars myself and spend money for it, or try to find the few test drives that there exist where you can actually rent a car for longer and like have it for yourself for longer, for more than an hour also. Because for example, when this friend of mine went to test drive a car that he actually didn't end up buying, but when he went to test drive it, he only got he got it for himself and for me. We test drove it by ourselves with no other guy beside us, but it was only for 30 minutes. No, it was only for 1 hour, right? There, I feel also like if you book that test drive and you go over some time, then I feel like it could be fine. I don't know, maybe it could be. I would have to see. I would have to check, right? Maybe it's something worth discussing there. Well, your job isn't to talk to them, it's just to make sure nothing happens and the car doesn't get stolen or similar, so it's rather you have the freedom to just up and only have to check the car for damage. No, their job actually, it is actually like telling you information of the car, right? They have to say something, like they do have to bring up things about the car. It's like he was constantly bringing things up about the car, like, oh yeah, this car has these features, right? And then after we did a survey, and in the survey they were like, how did you find, like, did he tell you enough information about the car? Like, were you satisfied with the information he told you? And I clicked yes, because even though I knew some things, like I didn't know exactly, like this is the base car, and the base car has like 600 or something of hours, and then there is one with 800 or whatever, right? So, like, I was satisfied, like with whatever he told me, I was satisfied because it was fine, right? Whatever he told me, right? And yeah, isn't there an app for car sharing or something where you can basically rent a car from someone else to check if you like it, etc.? There are some, I don't know, from someone else. There are like these apps. There is one called Carvia, which does have like, actually it does have at Porsche Taycan, where you can rent the car for like a day, for 3 hours, for 1 hour, for minute by minute and kilometer by kilometer. There are some apps like that. And I do have like installed 3 of them, and I've never used them here in Germany so far. In 2019, I did use them. But in 2019, it was like a better mixture, right? It was like the apps that had a lot of cars were actually the apps that had the fun cars. You could have like BMWs, Minis from the app where you could go all over, right? This time, Carvia has cars, but it has only, and it has the cool cars like the Abarths, the Audi TTs or whatever, but the circle where the cars are deployed is smaller. You can go outside of it, but then you have to come back and park them there. So, for example, I cannot park them where I live in Neuperlach Süd, because Neuperlach Süd is so fucking far away. Right? So that's a problem. And the ones that do reach here, like ShareNow and all this, they have like normal cars. They are, instead of being BMWs or whatever, or like Audi TT or like Abarth or whatever, or like sporty a little bit, they are just normal cars. There is one Audi A6 or A4 which I will like to try, and I think I will go do that one day if I see that, if I don't know, if I feel like it, go try the Audi in the autobahn to see like how fast I can go. I think I will definitely do that. But yeah, and from other people in Spain I did find one like that, but here I haven't looked at it too hard. Plus, I don't know, it's like a little bit less easy, right? You have to arrange the thing, blah blah blah, right? Okay, that was Tuesday. Then Wednesday and Thursday there was this seminar about, how do I call it? It was called something like Stress und Unfälle für Triebfahrzeugführer or something like this, right? And it's like a seminar for these things to prepare you for a little bit and like some tools or whatever to manage stress and to manage accidents and such, and like examples of it. And I have the Stress und Unfälle bewältigen für DB Triebfahrzeugführende. And it's like how to cope with stress and with accidents and such. And the accidents is basically suicides. Right? People kill themselves on the tracks. And they like it was for me it was interesting. Like my classmates always complain about these kind of seminars because, to be honest, they are kind of a little bit lame, right? It's like some external DB trainer comes in and tells you some things. They up for a couple of hours. You kind of do some shit, and then you get like a certificate that you did it. But in this case, I feel like it was interesting, right? For example, there have been like some diversity trainings or some shit like communication and shit like that, and those, or like learning how to learn, those are kind of annoying and a little bit shit that is obvious and that I already know. These things it does have this element of shit that is obvious and that you kind of already know, but the concreteness of people killing themselves on the train tracks and like the anecdotes and the videos that she played, they were interesting, right? It's like three Lokführers who have actually run over people, right? And they tell you like how they coped with it and such. They are videos, and I don't know, it's interesting, right? It's like grim as fuck. Like it's like one of them was like someone who had run over like 3 children, right? They were playing in the train tracks or whatever, and he ran them over, and like then one of them died in the hospital or something, and like he had like nightmares and shit like this, and he told that in the video, right? It was kind of crazy, to be honest. And like that's why I think it's like interesting, right? Because it's not something that I guess you think of, or because the conclusions are like obvious, right? The conclusion is like, okay, you need therapy or like you need blah blah, right? Or like some people need therapy, some people don't. Some people do this, some people do that. Breathe. If you are in a stress situation, breathe, right? It's like the conclusions are obvious, but the things that they tell you are not that obvious, right? The story and like hearing the stories of these people and like this girl, like the woman who made the presentation was like a psychologist, and she did have like a couple of anecdotes about it and such. So I don't know, it's interesting. And apparently it's like 1,000 people kill themselves every year in the train tracks, and another 200 try to do it, but they don't make it. And then there are another 200 people who are accidents, right? Like proper accidents. Like for example, the 3 kids, those were just like playing on the train tracks for some reason, and they didn't kill themselves. And the other 2 people, they did kill themselves on the train tracks, and it's like dumb. Well, but in that show that it happens quite often, so you have to prepare for it. Yeah, and the attitude of the woman was like, at the end of the thing, she was like, well, blah blah blah, nice to meet you or whatever, nice, hope you blah blah blah, right? Classic fair up shit or whatever. And she said something like, well, the statistics are not on your side or something like this. Like, well, it's like not even saying something like, hope it doesn't happen to you guys. No, she was like, the statistics aren't on your side. It like kind of it will happen to you guys or something like this. Right? So crazy. Our teacher, for example, he said that he has never had something like this happen to him. But if you, like for example, to the trainers that we get when we do Mitfahrten, I feel like many of them, did had this happen to them, right? Because you ask something like, okay, what's the worst thing that happened, and they're like, they kind of freeze and don't say a lot of it. They say, well, things like this, right? Or like, not if you don't ask the worst thing, you ask something related, and they say things like, oh, but that's not the worst thing that has happened, or things like this, right? So I don't know. Weird as hell, to be honest. I hope I don't run anyone over or whatever. I mean, it's good that they tell you. Also, that they tell you that it's not your fault, kind of, because, like, let's be real, it isn't, right? If some guy throws themselves to the tracks to kill themselves and achieves it, it's like he did it, right? You were just on the way because you can't, because of physics, you can't break the train quick enough to not kill him. You can't save him. It's like, it's not your fault. And it's kind of like a dick move to kill yourself and bring someone else in the middle to have them go to therapy afterwards, right? But yeah, I guess if you kill yourself or whatever, it's like probably shit was going badly and such. So. But yeah, so an interesting 2 days, right? Definitely different from the rest of the days, and also from other external workshops or whatever. So yeah. Then I'm definitely not the person to talk about stuff like this, since my first thought was, if this happened to you, make a selfie first. That guy peace. Bro. First that guy peace. Lol. One of them said that he was like avoiding looking at the corpse or whatever when he's, and that guy, he had it happen twice or something, and then he changed jobs to the Deutsche Bahn as well to be like a Fahrdienstleiter or like disponent or something like that. So yeah, he changed jobs. One of them, both, and the other two, including the one who like ran over 3 kids. Well, I say ran over 3 kids, but I think he only, I don't know what happened. I think he did run over. Sounds like you run over with the train, and then you ran them over, and it was not the case with the kids. The one with the kids, he like hit them, but kind of they went out and they survived. I think 2 of them survived. One of them didn't, but she died in the hospital, right? So it's like she was fully, like, all of the pieces were there. And then the other one, he did run someone over, like, and he saw like some piece of brain. Like, I don't know, it was like crazy. Also, my German is not great, so when I saw the video, I didn't like really understand it. I kind of understood it, but then not fully. And then the woman did kind of like, also in German, but like explain it a little bit slower with like clearer terms. And yeah, apparently he was like, he saw like some brain, and like he did cut someone basically into pieces with a train. So he got trauma and was like, yeah, I'll just get over to experience this instead of me, I guess. I mean, he got it twice, right? So it's like deserved, in my opinion. It's like, let someone else fucking run over people. I'll just tell people which trains they have to take. Okay, take this one, take this one, take this one. But it was tough. Like, it's like a thing that is weird. Then the next day, Friday, we ate pizza with so it was a shorter day. We had to send some papers or whatever. I didn't send anything, and then yeah, that's basically it. Then yesterday, Saturday, we went another time to the IAA, and it kind of sucked a little bit because we didn't try anything and everything was kind of like packed like on Friday, but I didn't try anything super special and I didn't see anything super special, so nothing super crazy to be honest. But I did try some Apple Vision lenses to see like some Mercedes exhibition, so that was interesting. But yeah, that was yesterday, and today I didn't do anything. I just played video games. I wake up at 12. And yesterday I did some movie. I watched a movie called In Yuli, and it was a good movie. I liked it. I had it on my list of movies, if I recall correctly. Let's see. Sure, I get that you want to work like that after 2 times, but I don't think it's a weird video to then train others to do the job. You know, absolutely the truth with. I mean, he didn't train people to like. He just became disponent, right? Disponent is like the one who works still for the company, but instead of being there, it's yeah, it's basically telling them which trains are available and such. It's basically to keep your job, right? Because if you decide you don't want to drive trains anymore, what the fuck do you do, right? And it was interesting. Like his therapy was like getting into the cockpit of trains again because he couldn't do that and things like that. And then after that, he could do it, but he preferred still not to do it. And yeah, yesterday I saw this Imuli movie. I don't have a lot written about it. I just have that my old teacher mentioned it, and why I watched it yesterday because I wanted to watch Lost in Translation, and I simply put it here. And I put it here, but yesterday I watched it because ChatGPT. I asked for ChatGPT for recommendations of movies like Lost in Translation, but in German, because I wanted to watch something in German. And yeah, I watched this Im Juli movie in German with subtitles in German, but I understood most of it, I guess. I had translator open and I googled a couple of words and such, but I understood kind of all of it basically. It wasn't a super difficult movie also, but and some places they did speak a little bit slower and I played the fragment a couple of times more to read the subtitles or whatever, but more or less fine. So I'm kind of like proud of that. I watched that. I guess this is the first movie I watched in German and kind of understood it, all of it. I think I'm not sure if I've seen more movies in German before without understanding. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's good. I think I've seen German movies in German, but with subtitles in English, for example, with before learning German or like after learning the A2 or something like this, right? But after having like my B2 level and my all this and like moving to Germany and such, I think it's the first German movie that I see, movie in German that I see, also German movie, and yeah, I'm kind of satisfied with that. I guess it's like, whoa, I can understand movies in German. That's kind of like a nice realization, I guess. Also, like expected after like 6 months of living in Germany. Well, April, May, June, July, August, September. By August, I was in Spain, so I guess after 4 months of the movie living in Germany, 4 plus the 6 before, I guess 10 months, less than a year living in Germany. I guess it's fine. And yeah, it was kind of a road movie. You know, these movies where there is like an adventure, well, not an adventure, that where you go from one place to another, and there is a lot of things going on and traveling, like traveling vibes, right? This kind of traveling vibes. I wanted kind of the hotel vibes, like Lost in Translation, you know. But at the end of the day, I just did the other thing. I did traveling vibes with less hotel vibes, but there were like a couple of these intimate moments and such. And yeah, that was my week. I think now until 7 or so I could do pretty good. We have someone at work from one of our clients who lives in Berlin since 3 years ago and still can't speak in German. I don't know how much he understands, but we always just talk in English. Yeah, I guess that was me in the Erasmus, right? In the Erasmus, I just was 6 months there and didn't speak German. I mean, I could always do better. And there are probably movies that I can't understand. But yeah, I guess little by little, right? Maybe I'll watch more movies in German or something. And here I could do something like status update September 2025. Let's check the past status update, I guess. When I get quicker to this, I just type status update. Yep. Whoa! End of February, end of September, almost 6 months. September, November, February. I guess I didn't make status updates, but I did make like one video, one stream a week saying what did I did the week before, right? So, but yeah, I feel like it was time for something like this. General update, New Year's resolutions, Munich trip. Not gonna lie, sounds a bit much to do a status update for streams at this point. I don't know, I did like that they were like, I guess, I probably would have liked to make one February, April, right? One like first week of April or like end of April, first month here in Germany. How was it like? And then one update like. But I did, for example, in April I was doing one video a day. But then end of April, then August, like before going to Spain or like after coming back to Spain, something like this, right? Maybe I feel like I could have done a couple of the updates more, and it would be like being good. Status update February, end of February 2025. So yeah, this status update kind of builds a lot on the past status update. This this November 2024 status update. And in it, I talk basically about how I am in this German course. That is like, kind of like the most recent development, how I got accepted, and a couple of months have gone by, and we switched teachers, and now I'm still there in this German course, and I am now fully in this path because there were some doubts, because there were a couple of medical tests that were pending, etc., etc. So, yeah, I am now fully in, and also nearing the end of it. I have my B2 test next Friday, so in like 5 days, and yeah, the main events that happened, I guess, since November have been the New Year, obviously, and Christmas, New Year, etc. Then, end of January, I went on a trip to Munich, and yeah. For example, I could have done also like one update after my Führerschein. The routine was mostly German class. And yeah, starting with the New Year's resolutions, I've made a couple of videos here about them. This video about my New Year's resolutions in 2 minutes has also the resolutions written here. And yeah, basically the resolutions were like having physical activity, reading, writing, etc. And I've kept up with them. Not really. I'm not on track for writing my 100 journal entries. I'm like several of them. Yeah, like if I start having more rhythm, obviously if I do one daily, I still have more like 100 days until the end of 2025. But if I wanted to keep the pace that I had before, I couldn't finish, right? Make at least 10 YouTube videos. I'm not sure how on track on this, but for example, I haven't been really checking the Okay, I'm kind of silent, but I was typing these things, and yeah, basically I'm typing the new resolutions, what I think. I guess as a sum up, I will record this video now, so I guess I also don't, well, no, it's not that I don't want to say it, but if I say it, it's like I'm spending twice the time for the same thing. And yeah, I would prefer to like just do quickly here written and then explain in the video when I actually record it. But I could actually explain it a little bit so that the video maybe it's a little bit more concise. But yeah, essentially for physical activity, I think I have been consistent physically, checking my environment. I had like one resolution like this to check my list of places I wanna go to. And in this case, I haven't really been consistent about this. I haven't neither have I checked the places that I have on my list, nor have I explored that much the set places, which is sad. But I have explored some places a little bit. For example, I've eaten at some restaurants a couple of times that I did want to go to try. For example, some foods that I wanted to try, I haven't tried. But aside from that, not really. Then make a list to 10 YouTube videos. I did accomplish this resolution in April. I did the month of April. I did one video every day. But I'm not sure if I've achieved it in spirit. For example, my spirit was like being more consistent. I have been consistent streaming, but not in uploading YouTube videos, and I have not. And some side goals that I had tangentially related to this were not accomplished. Streaming, yes. Tangential side channel, other videos, not. Writing, I haven't accomplished it in writing. Not really, but a little bit. Sounds a bit off, at least without your explanation. I hope that cleared it up. For example, the rating answer is similar as well, right? It's no, but maybe a little bit, right? In spirit, for example, I have not written the 100 journal entries. I have not done that, but I have written a lot in ChatGPT things like, and I have thought about things that worry me, etc. But with ChatGPT as a bouncing board. So maybe in spirit it counts a little bit, but maybe not really. Depends. Make money online at least once and more than $100. This one is not looking good. I think I'm not going to achieve this one. Start studying at least 2 weeks before an exam. Okay, I did have before another resolution that was like start studying 2 weeks before, 2 weeks before a test, and I don't need it. That's the problem, right? Because I don't need it, I don't do it. But I think the idea was to do it even though I don't need it, as to like make sure that I don't need it. And I did stop doing it. Now I don't. And at the beginning I did do it for the things that was the easiest. I did do it, but then they make money online at least once. No, and it's not looking good. I'm not working on this at all. Bro, these 3 fucking final questions are some annoying. I'll get some food, but be right back. Okay. These questions are what really makes me happy. Who really makes me happy? How is my health?
Präsident doch als Ingenieur. Oder ich glaube nicht an Zufälle. Sie etwa? Er war.
The EU budget also allocates.
Ich bin das erste Mal in diesem Auto Beifahrer.
Ist das Auto schon mal wer anders gefahren?
Nein, erste Mal. Du bist der allererste. Deswegen bin ich gerade so ein bisschen überrascht. Scheiße, was ist das?
Holen wir die Krone?
Ich bin guter Dinge, Philipp.
Das nächste Auto von Tuning-Pate Philipp ist der VW Golf 3 von Thomas.
Ja, Thomas, erzähl mal, Golf 3. Und du musst mir auf jeden Fall eine kleine Unterweisung für dieses Getriebe geben. Weil ich glaube, sowas haben auch die Zuschauer noch nicht gesehen.
Ist keine Haarschaltung mehr, ist ein sequenzielles Getriebe, brauchst jetzt nur noch, also zum Runterschalten halt nach vorne drücken und zum Hochschalten halt nach hinten ziehen. Ne?
Sequenzielles Getriebe heißt, es gibt keine Haaranordnung mehr, dass ich von 1 in 5 schalten kann, sondern ich kann wie beim Motorrad wirklich alle Gänge nur durchschalten.
Genau. Mehr als 10.000 Euro hat Thomas für das sequenzielle Renngetriebe in seinem Golf 3 investiert.
Was denkst du, wie viele Stunden ab?
I'm back. I liked nachts in museum when I was younger. Oh, because of this. Yes, a friend told me put RTL 2 because it was like this program going on about golfs apparently. Grip Golf King. Free premium. Wow. Mein neuen Alter.
Wir feiern heute 50 Jahre Golf.
A German firm I thought it was really funny. Der Shooter Manitou. There isn't a mother das Kanu des Manitou. And I was thinking about watching that in Kino. Ooh. Maybe I'll just wait for it to be on some streaming platform though. Maybe I'll watch that and go to the cinema this week. I'll note it down somewhere. Okay, back to this. Okay, I feel like I can more or less start recording this. Probably better to check out the Manito first. I don't know. Yeah, that's why I copied the whole message, because yeah. But you should definitely check it before if you can understand the accents. Lol. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Not the easiest for some of the characters. I don't know. Maybe it's good to like go to the cinema, try to understand something, and then watch it again when it comes out on some streaming platform or whatever, and then there with subtitles and such. We'll see. I definitely don't want to discourage you. No, it's good. It's good to have the information. Yesterday when I was discussing this with ChatGPT, when I was asking it, okay, what movies should I watch? I said, okay, but give me movies where I can understand them. And it worked. The suggestion worked with Imuli. It also suggested a couple of other ones, but they were longer movies. Plus, the language apparently was more difficult. Maybe watch a trailer. Oh, good idea. And I think I can do something like this. Let's copy this, duplicate, welcome to. I'm going to make myself bigger like this. I'm going to make this. Okay. So I'm going to start recording this status update now. Status update September 2025. This status update is going to be a little bit different from the other ones because I guess the other ones were a little bit more following each other, and this one I just followed the New Year's resolutions from the past one because it was the previous status update was February 2025, which I will link obviously at the end of it, as with always. But yeah, previous ones had been like a month, 2 months separated, and this one is almost half a year separated. So yeah, there's been actually a lot of changes and a lot of things like this. So yeah, let's start I guess with that. Since February, what has been going on? In February I mentioned that I was in the course to become a train driver, like in the German course, so I was like locked into that path, and I had become like already my my health tests back and such, and I was in, and now I am like 5-6 months in, no, since April, 5 months into this, 5-6 months, and yeah, basically as I write here, I got my Führerschein in May. So basically it's been going to German class and doing a couple of activities related, going to train driving class in German and doing some activities like this. How's the vibe in the German, in the class? It started quite basic and it's been progressing. So now we're dealing with kind of quite advanced, you could say, train related topics and like train service topics, right? Bahnbetrieb. And yeah, that's like how class has been. It has evolved this way. It started with like the basic concepts from it, and then now we are doing like, I guess, irregularities, situations like that are irregular, these kind of things, still with theory, with some kind of practice days in between, with some simulator days, with some days that we go into the cabin and drive actually. And yeah, a little bit of the timeline. We arrived in April. I got my Führerschein in May. Führerschein is like a really basic train driving license that works for all of Europe, and then the rest of the driving license is called Zusatzbescheinigung, and it's a bigger driving license that the company gives you. It's like that's like the main thing that lets you drive trains from that company. Then we had some more classes until August. The whole of August, almost the whole of August, I went to vacations to Spain, like from the 4th to the 22nd or something like this. And yeah, I mentioned already how the classes have been, and some losses I wrote here because we've lost some people. We started being all of the people who came to Spain, who came from Spain, which we were 10, and then 2 more joined, and then another 1 more joined, and we had a teacher that was like a Spanish Sprachassistent or something like this, like a language assistant or something like this, and he quit. That's the first loss that we had. Then another classmate that had joined later, they kicked him out. then another classmate that joined at the beginning, but from a group who weren't from Spain, they also kicked him out, and then another one very recently, both of these last ones very recently, like in the past month, after coming back from vacations, he left by himself. So yeah, we are, I guess, less people than we were before at the beginning, and yeah, the classes are fine. My performance is really good. I'm probably the best one in like note department, in like the marks department and such, and yeah, so in that sense I'm not worried about this, but yeah, I mentioned here the scariest thing. The scariest thing are the days where we have to drive trains, not because of the driving itself, but because of the interactions with the teachers who let us drive and such, with the trainers. They are called trainers. And those interactions are the most stressful things. The day before, interacting with them and then seeing how it's going to be in the cabin, and the awkward moments, them not understanding fully, or us not understanding them fully, or me understanding but my classmate not understanding, these kind of things, right? Those are the worst things, I would say. And yeah, I think I will go on a little bit more about this in the questions department. So I feel like we can switch to the New Year's resolutions. This is a tie-in to the past video. This is actually a tie-in to the past February video where I did discuss how I was doing in my New Year's resolutions department, and I thought it would be an interesting thing to mention here because it's also like related to this. Yeah, it's nice to see how it's been evolving throughout the year, right? And these are the resolutions that I have, and the first one is physical activity, and it was more or less being consistent with physical activity or keeping a regular schedule of physical activity. Didn't predefine which kind, and I will say that in this case I have kept up with it. I started a strength routine, you could say, in the gym, mainly building my butt and I have actually been really consistent with this since I started it. I don't exactly know when I started it, maybe May, I forgot, but since I started I am being consistent with it. Wednesdays and Saturdays I do my strength routine, and I am quite consistent with this. Less consistent with cardio. I don't do any fixed day of cardio. I just kind of do my steps and try to hit many steps and to go on a walk most days, right? And most days I feel like I hit 7,000, 8,000 steps just by walking to class, or like in class walking to get food for in the pause or something like this. So I will say that I am kind of consistently being physically active, so that's good. One resolution that I am kind of keeping, and I feel like it's a pretty important one. So yeah, in that sense I am happy about this. Then the next resolution is my checking. I had this checking my environment. My example was like the list of the places that I want to go to in order to be exploring a little bit more, exploring of my surroundings and to not cocoon myself too much. And I will say that I'm not really doing it as big as I intended to with this. Even though the list was just like literally checking a list, I'm not even checking the list. So it was not a huge resolution, but I'm not doing it. I will say that I am adding places to my Google Maps list. So in a sense, it's kind of fulfilling a little bit of that. And I am going to some restaurants sometimes that I had marked on my lists, for example. So there is a little bit of list action going on, but it's not, I guess, as oriented to like be accomplishing things that I had already listed and those kind of things. I'm doing less of that. Then, next resolution, make at least 10 YouTube videos. I achieved this resolution in April. In April, I did 1 video per day, so it's already 31. And okay, I'm going to silence the notifications. configuración de notificaciones. No molestar, activado. Ok. So, as I was saying, I did record these 31 videos in April, but I'm not sure if I'm achieving this thing in spirit because, yeah, I kind of am making videos regularly, right? The point of making at least 10 YouTube videos was make one video a month, right? If I make one video a month, 12 months, I make more than 10 videos, right? So in the year. So by doing 31 on 1 month, it's kind of avoiding the spirit. It's kind of achieving the spirit because I did make the videos, but it's also avoiding it in spirit because it was supposed to be like keep consistency. So the consistency, I am keeping it streaming. For example, I am streaming kind of regularly every Sunday. I've streamed, if I'm not mistaken, either every Sunday or then on the Monday afterwards or something like this. I think I have streamed at least once a week. I mean, avoiding technicalities, for example, maybe 1 week I streamed on Monday and then on Sunday because the previous week I didn't stream any day, right? But you get what I mean, right? I think I am doing this streaming thing very regularly, but I am not doing the video thing regularly. For example, I had planned to create another channel to make videos about other topics and such, and in that front, or I have a huge backlog of videos that I have recorded, including a podcast that, yeah, I should get around to editing someday, and that I so far have not done. Also because my computer doesn't really help. It's not a fast computer where editing is easy, and I don't have a great setup, so that doesn't help anyways. But yeah, I guess I would say it's not the best setup to really get into making videos in a way where they come out easily, right? Plus time, plus many other things. Then writing, I had this kind of write at least 100 times or 100 journal entries, less than one every 3 days, but still one every 3 days. So far away from this that it's basically a no. I did add a bot, maybe in spirit counting AI, because I do write to AI something every other day or so, or like basically every day I do write something to AI, whether it's about cooking, whether it's about discussing some topics, etc. So in that sense, I could export everything I say to AI and put it on a journal, and it would kind of be maybe more than 100 times, but it's not fully like writing. It's more like going back and forth with some machine. So yeah, it's not exactly the same, but yeah. In spirit it is kind of, I guess, working on things, thinking about things, etc. in a way, but yeah, not exactly like I wanted to. Then start studying 2 weeks before a test. At the beginning I was doing it. I did Anki really regularly, and in that sense I did achieve some of this, and I got to a point where I was doing it regularly. I would say up until Rangieren in trains. Rangieren is like, it was the first big thing, and that's related to real train related things, like real Bahnbetrieb, real train service. And there I was quite on point with the flashcards and such. After that, not really. But my performance is still good, right? I'm still top of the class. I'm still getting the highest, almost the highest possible marks in the tests and such. But I did stop doing what I said that I wanted to do. I said start studying 2 weeks. I didn't say be the best one. I said start studying 2 weeks, right? That was very clearly marked this way because the point was to be consistent about it regardless of the result, right? And I kind of stopped doing it, so I think I should definitely rework on this. And then my last New Year resolution was make money online at least once $100 at least. It was like so that I don't do some kind of cheating type thing, as like, hey, can someone donate $10 for me for this stupid thing or whatever? And yeah, so it's not like this. So it's a little bit more consistent, like a bigger sum, like something that can be considered, okay, I actually made some money. And this is the most definitive one, no, and it's not really looking good. I don't think I will achieve this one this year, unless in these 3 months until December, some chip flips, some switch flips or something, and I think of something that is like monetizable or something like that. But it's not looking great. Then let's go on to the question sections. We have these I had these questions in this sense, so in that case, in this since like 3 or 4 or I don't know, since a lot of updates ago, I am doing this, and I feel like it's also a good time to revisit these questions because they are interesting. These are from a YouTuber. I forgot her name. It started with the letter K. Anyways, the whole story about why I'm doing these questions and what video they come from is on a past status update. And yeah, let's go into it. The first question is, how do I feel about my money situation right now? And I will say that this is good. Since I have a job now, or since I'm getting paid to study this train thing, my money situation is pretty good. I have a lot of money in comparison to most of my life. And yeah, I guess the main preoccupation is let's go with what I've written. I've written that it's decent. It's not mega abundant in some sense, because there are some moments where I get hit with a sense of scarcity and envy, right? I do make a relatively decent money, and I pay little rent right now, but the situation is complicated, and you do see a lot of money out there, right? You do see a lot of expensive cars, etc., expensive items, expensive clothes, expensive things. So, yeah, there is a sense of envy or a sense of, I am actually not doing that well. And there's always this looming thing about rent. So it doesn't feel super abundant, but I can, like in the actual reality of life, I can afford many caprices, as I've written here. Like, for example, I can buy clothes. I've spent a lot of money in stupid clothes, and I still have money left, and I've been saving still. I've bought some food, and that, I guess, like eating out. I don't eat out every day or such, but when I do want to, I do it, and I get what I want, and I don't think about it. And snacks, well, I think about it, but I don't give a fuck, basically, and I buy a lot of stupid snacks like potato chips and such, and like little, I don't know, industrial bakery things and like normal bakery things and things, and I don't care about how much it costs. I simply buy it. So in that sense, it's good. I can afford whatever things I want to get. I can't afford things like big technological purchases or things like this every time. But yeah, I like for those I do have to save or like be mindful. In that sense, I can't afford to waste that much money on that. But for these kind of other topics, I can basically get what I want, which is nice. It's a nice feeling. And I will say that I am a little bit scared for the future, and there is a lot of uncertainty in the next stages, right? Well, I like it because it's a spoiler. But yeah, I'm a little bit scared for the future, especially for rent, because I don't know. Right now, my rent is really low because it's kind of like subsidized by the company, and I'm living in this kind of hotel paying relatively little rent. We'll see how the situation changes when I have to move into my own place. Plus, when I'm working. Yeah, and I am scared for that. I'm scared. Will I be able to get the space that I want for the money that is convenient, for an amount of money that is convenient, right? We'll see. How do you feel about your job, employment situation, daily activities right now? I feel worse than at the beginning. I mentioned here that at the beginning with my Führerschein and such, I was like really doing my Anki, really on top of things. And right now I feel way less on top of things. I feel like I could get caught by mistakes and things like this much more easily. And it also started being like really handheld through it. We were being like really handheld through it, and for every question that we had, it's like it felt like we were getting better answers and such. Now it's like the questions that we have are being less answered. Well, they are answered, but the answers are like, well, it doesn't matter, or things like this, right? But overall, I am kind of satisfied. I don't mind the grind, right? When I think of like, whoa, I'm getting paid for this, whether it's like some external seminar about something, or whether it's like going to class, I'm like, I'm actually kind of satisfied that I'm getting paid for doing this, right? It's interesting. And here I am scared for the future, though. That is like the feeling that it still remains, because this is just studying. I wonder if I'll actually like the work itself, right? Or like how the work will be, how especially the talking to teammates and like talking to bosses and things like this, like these kind of social relationships in Germany, and I don't know, that kind of thing is scary a little bit. In teams and with people above you and people below you, not really, right? People above you and things like this. So yeah, that kind of thing does give me a lot of uncertainty and such. But right now, I do feel pretty satisfied with how it's going. With this kind of employment situation, the routine, you could say, with this particular site, that is, I am quite satisfied. I do feel like there is a little bit of I would like to have more time, a little bit. Well, let's say I would like to have a bit to feel like I have some more free time for other things, perhaps too. There are some things that I would like to do like as well, right? Things that I've mentioned here, like videos or whatever, but also, I don't know, exploring a little bit more, going on trips. So I feel like in that is one thing that could improve when I start working, because when I start working, I think I get more days together to do more things, right? And less pressure of, oh, I have these 3 days together, but I have a test right after, right? There is like that less of that pressure. So I feel like that is an aspect that could improve, having more free time to do other things or such. But yeah. Art pastimes that I like to learn or practice. I'm looking at getting my motorcycle driving license. So yeah, that's basically the main thing that I'm thinking about. Aside from this, I'm not thinking of a lot of things. Movies and video games are basically the only thing I think of doing, and I don't even do it that much. I don't watch that many movies or play that many video games. So yeah, music, let's not even talk about it. A classmate is talking about theater and such. Not really. I'm not sure if I would sign up for that. I also think of test drives, I would say, like test driving cars and such. Test driving cars, I think of it, but I don't do it, right? And videos and such sometimes. Like this is related to videos. How do I feel about the environment I live in right now? Decent. I like my studio apartment. It's small, but I like it. I've come to like having a small space. The area is acceptable and well connected, like where I live, the location. Even though it's really far away, it's like well connected, so I can be in the center of the city quite easily. And the gym being in the building is super convenient for this kind of habit forming things. And I guess it also being a hotel, right? Yesterday I wanted to watch Lost in Translation because I like this hotel vibe, right? The hotel vibe, I kind of like it, right? I like this kind of sense of anonymity, sense of like a lot of people going in and out, and something that detracts from this, right? A bit worried because there's been a recent influx of people who are from my same course, right? Not my same course, but from the course that I have. Well, all of us from our same course are in the same building, which is a little bit, it removes a little bit from this hotel vibe, but it has its positives. But then there has been a recent influx of people who are not from my same course, but who are from like next levels of our same course. So they like also only speak Spanish, blah blah blah, right? And have learned German after us, etc. They are like the next classes, the next cohorts, and they've been brought here. So there's like a lot more people who are Spanish speaking, or some are Hungarian, who are in this building, in the same building, but which I do kind of see every day around class and such. So it removes from this kind of hotel vibe, and it becomes a little bit more like, oh, the same people from work are here again, and these people, it's not like I get along super well with them. It's kind of like I don't get. It's not that I don't get along, it's that we don't have like any type of connection, right? Just this kind of visual thing of seeing them at work, which is strange because you recognize them, but yeah, I don't know, that kind of thing. So yeah, decent, but that kind of small aspect it feels like it removes a little bit of this sense of safety, a sense of like, okay, I have my private space, right? It feels more like, oh, this space is actually I'm surrounded with the same people in work. How do I feel about following my intuition lately? Depends on the context. I've picked up a context where I feel well, for example, food. When I'm cooking, I feel like I can follow my intuition decently. I feel like if I start cooking something, it's good, and there's good chances that I'm making the right decisions on my own, right? I asked ChatGPT and Claude for a lot of things, but Claude either just confirms some things that I was thinking of, or like my input to it is like their initial input, their initial output is kind of incomplete, and my subsequent inputs complete the thing and make a better product overall, which makes me confident on my intuition. Or yeah, it's just like confirmation bias, right? I ask something and it spits me out something that I would have thought on my own, kind of. And sometimes the ideas that it has are good, but I am able to confirm like mentally that they will work, or things like this, right? So it's like a good feeling of like complementary things, it's complementing my intuition rather than me replacing it, right? Which, for example, for other things, it's not that clear. In other situations, I'm not sure how I feel about following my intuition. For example, socially, I'm not really sure exactly about where are the limits on things like this, or like who likes whom, that kind of thing. I don't know. Those intuitions are a little bit harder to pinpoint and such. Then, what really makes me happy? These questions are always really difficult, so the answers are short, because more or less because I don't really know. Some, I guess, development that I've thought to this question, an inhibition, right? Feeling inhibited, like drinking some alcohol and then having a chat with some people who are also like into that and who are kind of in that same wave, and just chit-chatting and such feels good, right? It feels good being uninhibited and like being able to talk shit and to right, and to yap and things like this without thinking a lot about who's judging, who's blah blah blah, right? That feels good, but I'm not sure if it's complete happiness, right? And this is really tied to the who really makes me happy question. The people with whom I feel like I can uninhibited myself are a breath of fresh air in that sense, right? In that sense, you could say happiest or like the freest I feel is when this situation arises, right? When I feel like I can say anything and it will not be received badly. Or it's also not really about the reception either. It's more about, it's kind of about the reception, kind of about some kind of internal sense of it. I don't know. But yeah, there are some people who it feels more like a breath of fresh air. But I'm not sure if that's something like they really make me happy, right? It's a difficult question, obviously. And then, how is my health? I'm fine physically. I've gained a little bit of weight since arriving from vacation, especially from August. because in August I didn't do exercise. That's the one place where I haven't been consistent in this kind of physical activity consistency. And because of that, plus the way I ate, after coming back and such, where I had a couple of streaks of eating a lot of times outside, I think I've gained a little bit of weight, but I think it's fine. Plus, I'm coming back to the routine also. So yeah, I feel like I am fine physically. Then I've scheduled a doctor appointment for soon, this Thursday actually. And yeah, I wrote here mental because I maybe want to bring some things up. The appointment is for a vaccine, so it's not just like this, but I would like to bring some things up to see where it takes me and things like this, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, in that sense, like the mental part is not that well. I'm struggling with some of the same things I've been struggling since forever. So maybe I'll see if I can try and solve them. Maybe not. We'll see. And yeah, that's basically my status update of September 2025. We'll see how the next updates are in the following months, and we'll see how it evolves, how the resolutions go, whether I write new different resolutions for the following year and such, and we'll see. I think it's already September, so it's kind of time to be thinking about that, right? We'll see. So yeah, thank you for watching. Feel free to watch the the previous status updates, or maybe the next I guess true also, because there will be a playlist linked here. So yeah, feel free to watch that, and bye bye. Okay, I'm going to grab a glass of water because I'm running out of, not breath, out of like, yeah. Okay, I'm done with the video. Now it's time to do the classic upload, timestamp and such. This is not like my usual internet, sorry, like my Spanish internet where it uploads super fast, so I'm not sure what I'll do. I'm not sure if I'll cut or if I'll continue. It's a half an hour video, so whoa, my computer is so slow. Okay, let's see what you said. Damn, I heard the sound and I was checking everything, not finding any notification. Lol. Oh, yeah, that was my... I had to turn do not disturb. It was this friend sending me a link to a card. A friend of mine is always crying because of his bad internet. Meanwhile, I watch 4 streams at the same time and still watch a video on the side. 2 gigs. Ooh, we'll see. Remaining 8 minutes. Okay, that's good. I feel like in 8 minutes I won't even be finished timestamping, so I feel like I can timestamp. Well, actually timestamping this goes pretty quickly. I just have to put the playlist, right? Oops. Let's see. Previous video. Boop. If I start having more rhythm, obviously if I do one daily, I still have more. 2025 New Year resolution video also. Previous status update video. Wait, I could screen share, right? So it's a little bit more visually interesting. Not that it's like thrilling, but at least you can see what's going on. I'm not crying because of the internet. I would like better internet, obviously. Like, it feels like 6 minutes for 2 gigs in 2025 is a little bit ridiculous, but it's still not the 90s, right? I can deal with it. It feels like some third world type shit. Like even if I was like traveling to the Philippines and like recording a vlog there, I would expect to be to be able to upload it instantly, I guess. But yeah, it's not that bad. Okay, maybe you hear myself talking twice, I guess. Status update, September 2025. This status update is going to be a little bit different from the other ones because I guess the other ones were a little bit more following each other, and this one I just followed the New Year's resolutions. I think I just realized why I've taken the previous status update was Feb. I just realized why I've taken so long in recording one, because of the camera quality. All of the other ones were with the camera, with my mainstream camera, like the Sony, and this one is with the webcam. And I was like, I think I wanted to, at some point I was like, okay, let's record the status update, and then I was like, oh, but I have to use my normal camera, right? And I ended up not doing it. Lol. I think that was the reason why I didn't start earlier. Those are the worst things, I would say. And yeah, I think I will go on a little bit more about this in the questions department. So I feel like we can switch to the New Year's resolutions. This is a tie-in to the past video. This is actually a tie-in. 05 2.17. How do you say the two dots? In that case, could you have made a status update video while you were at home? No? Yes, I also thought about doing that, but in that case I forgot. To the past February video where I did discuss how I was doing in my New Year's resolution, but I'm not sure if I'm achieving 1 week. So yeah, 2 weeks I didn't say be the best, unless in these 3 months until December some chip flips, some switch flips or something, and I think of something that is like monetizable or something like that, but it's not looking great. Then let's go on to the question sections. We have these I had these questions in this sense, so in that case, in this since like 3 or 4 or since a lot of updates ago, I am doing this, and I feel like it's also a good time to unless in these 3 months until December some chip flips, some switch flips or something, and I think of something that is like monetizable or something like that, but it's not looking great. Then let's go on to the question sections. We have these I had these questions in this sense, so in that case, in this since like 3 or 4 or I don't know, since a lot of updates ago, I am doing this, and I feel like it's also a good time to revisit these questions because they are interesting. These are from a YouTuber. I forgot her name. It started with the letter K. I remember the name. Kelima. She's called Kelima, I think. The whole story about why I'm doing these questions and what video they come from is on a past status update. And yeah, let's go into it. The first question is, how do I feel about my money situation right now? And I will say that this is good, since I have a job now, since I'm getting paid to study this training, my money situation is pretty good. I have a lot of money in comparison to most of my life, and clothes, expensive things. Most, but not all. There have been moments where I have had more money. So, yeah, there is a sense of envy or a sense of, I am actually not doing that well. Eating out, I don't eat out every day or such, but cheeses or things like this, I like it because it's a spoiler. But yeah, I'm a little bit scared for the future, especially for rent, because I don't know. Right now, my rent is really low because it's kind of like subsidized by the company, and I'm living in this kind of hotel paying relatively little rent. We'll see how the situation changes when I have to move into my own place. Plus, when I'm working. Yeah, and I am scared for that. I'm scared. Will I be able to get the space that I want for the money that is convenient, for an amount of money that is convenient, right? We'll see. How do you feel about your job, employment situation, daily activities right now? I feel worse than at the beginning. I mentioned I do feel like there is a little bit of I would like to have I don't know, exploring a little bit more, going on trips. So I feel like in that is one thing that could improve when I start working, because when I start working, I think I get more days together to do more things, right? And less pressure of, oh, I have learner practice. Oh, I have these 3 days together, but I have a test right after, right? There is like that less of that pressure. So I feel like that is an aspect that could improve, having more free time to do other things or such. But yeah. Art pastimes that I like to learn or practice. I'm looking at getting my motorcycle driving license. So yeah, that's basically the main thing that I'm thinking about. Aside from this, I'm not thinking of a lot of things. How do I feel about the environment I live in right now? Decent. I like my studio apartment. It's small. How do I feel about the environment I live in right now? Decent. I like my studio. Thing of seeing them at work, which is strange because you recognize them, but yeah, I don't know, that kind of thing. So yeah, decent, but that kind of small aspect it feels like it removes a little bit of this sense of safety, a sense of like, okay, I have my private space, right? It feels more like, oh, this space is actually I'm surrounded with the same people in work. How do I feel about following my intuition lately? Depends on the context. I've picked up a context where I feel well, for example, food. Things, it's not that clear. In other situations, I'm not sure how I feel about following my intuition. For example, socially, I'm not really sure exactly about where are the limits on things like this, or like who likes whom. That kind of thing, I don't know. Those intuitions are a little bit harder to pinpoint and such. Then, what really makes me happy? These questions are always really difficult, so the answers are short, because more or less because I don't really know. Some, I guess, development that I've thought to this question, an inhibition. Not sure if it's complete happiness, right? And this is really tied to the who really makes me happy question. The people with whom I feel like I can uninhibited myself are a breath of fresh air, in that sense, right? In that sense, you could say happiest or like the freest I feel. And then how is my health? I'm fine physically. I've gained a little bit of weight since arriving from vacation, especially from August. Because in August I didn't do exercise. That's the one place where I haven't been consistent in this kind of physical activity consistency. And because of that, plus the way I ate after coming back and such, where I had a couple of streaks of eating a lot of times outside, I feel like I think I've gained a little bit of weight, but I think it's fine. Plus, is there no capture instantaneous or something like this? Like take a picture of this button on this player. Status update September 20. Just for September 2025. This status update is going to be a little bit different from the other ones because I guess the other ones were a little bit more following each other. Lista, status updates. No. Next. Añadir. No. So yeah, thank you for watching. Feel free to watch the next, the previous, we'll see. So yeah, thank you for watching. Feel free to watch the next, the previous status updates, or maybe the next, I guess, true also because there will be a playlist linked here. So yeah, feel free to watch that, and bye bye. Why does my mouse not work? What the fuck? What? I haven't edited the title. Status update September 2025. Okay, 7:30. Scheiße! "7:30 is kinda late. I wanted to end at 7. Now I have to cook dinner, and not only today's dinner, but I have to cook tomorrow's lunch as well. And today's dinner is kind of weird. Tomorrow's lunch is easy, but today's dinner is kind of weird. And I already defrosted chicken. So I'm not sure if I should. What should I do? Bro, and I have to use the mouse, the fucking trackpad, the fuck. I still need to take a shower since I won't have time tomorrow. I need to leave at 6:15. Yeah, I have to take a shower as well. Bro, shower plus dinner. And I have to be in bed at 10 as well. Bro, fucking mouse. Twenty 25 New Year's resolutions. Okay. Not much else to say other than thank you for watching. The book. Has something stopped? Why am I seeing this weird? The preview is looking weird anyways, but I don't know. Just thank you for watching. Thank you for being here yet another Sunday. And yeah, have a good week. Have a good day tomorrow, even though you wake up early. May you have a frühere Feierabend. And yeah, hope you have a good day and a good week. And hope I have a good day, a good week as well. It looks like today, next week is going to be a little bit more monotone, but I do have a medical appointment on Thursday, so that will be interesting. And yeah, I may do some things that are driving school related, so we'll see about that. But yeah, bye bye.